Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jim Crawford Show, Special Ed Edition, live. May 26th, 2017. Let's see, is it May 26th? Yeah. Alright. Alright. Let's begin with our topics. Excuse me. We're going to talk about fashion and entertainment. But first, let's talk about fashion. You would not want to see an elderly lady in a skirt of fashion unless she's attending a fashion style party. Now younger people, then yeah. Younger people under the age of elderly, young women can attend fashion parties. Elderly ladies cannot unless it's absolutely necessary. Another good example is that when Another good example is that when you attend a fashion party, then everyone looks at you and thinks that you look cute. I'm sorry, but elderly ladies cannot attend fashion style parties unless they're really popular at it. Not everyone wants to talk about how elderly people dress. That is not in the category of their take. Imagine this. Imagine the fact when an elderly lady attends a fashion style party. When an elderly lady attends a fashion style party, they may not like being around crowds of people staring at their clothing. Elderly women should not, and I repeat, elderly women should not attend a fashion style party. Now, unless they're doing it for charity, then yeah. Once in a while you see a elderly here and there, and somewhere like that, and whatever. But not all the time. Now, unless they're a guest for someone else's fashion style party, then yeah, that would be appropriate. An elderly lady should not attend the fashion style party. Unless they're there for someone else's fashion style party, someone younger than their age. Now, for those of you who are watching us at home, just think of what you may be doing next. Just think of how this is going to turn out. And just think, a fashion stylist should not make an elderly lady attend their fashion style party? A fashion stylist should stick away from the elderly and go after the younger women, less elderly. Never ask an elderly lady to attend your fashion style party. Women of all ages, I'm going to speak to this right now. Never ask your elderly lady, grandparents or not, to attend a fashion style party. Keep your elderly lady in their homes. Don't call them and say, oh, hey, elderly lady, would you want to attend my fashion style party? No, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. And they mean it. Because they're too old for fashion. Fashion is supposed to be for younger people, not the elderly. So, think about that. Alright, switching gears now. Since we're done talking about fashion, let's talk about entertainment. What do we need for entertainment? That is the question there. What do we need for entertainment? Well, put it this way. We need money. We need money and entertainment and television and the internet. I've said this before, last year, in 2016, and the year before that, and the year before that. And I'm not going to go over the same subject. So, I'm going to put it in a different word. Entertainment is very important to those who need it. Now, some people grew up without television, and that's fine. The internet's there for that. The internet is there. If you don't have a television, watch the internet. It's there. YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Google, whatever. You name it. Just like what you're doing right now. You're watching me on YouTube, right? Just think of how you can put things together in your own mind. Put things together in your own mind and stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. And just think of what you can do with entertainment. Another good example is that when, let me just come a bit. There we go. Another good example is when you another good example is that if you have television and the internet, you have two options. Alright, put it this way. Put it this way. Two things combined together. Entertainment, television, internet. Entertainment, television, and the internet. This side is the entertainment and your television. This side is your internet and your computer software. What's more important, entertainment, television, or the internet? You choose. And just think of what might happen. I wouldn't think of anywhere else than that. We are so popular these days. These days we are so popular. We can never forget of how things will work our way. You see, you're not alone. If you have internet and television, you got what you want. If you grew up without television and you just have the internet, that's fine too. You can watch Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, whatever's there. Whatever is there. Yep. That is the general idea. Right then and there. So don't turn your backs on us. Don't get up from that couch. Don't walk out of your house and just say, oh, I'm not going to stay here and watch this crap. I'm just going to get up from my couch, walk out the door, and be done. No. Stick with the plan. Stick with the plan and go along with it. Because you never know what's going to happen. And you never know where to start. And you wouldn't be surprised on how things can turn out. Because you never know what's going to happen next. And you never know where to start. You can't give up easy, you know. You just can't. It's there for you right then and there. One last thing before we go to break. I'm going to remind you all viewers that we're going to take 5-minute breaks every so often. But before we do, I do have a news segment for news. News segment is our next topic. But that's coming up later in the program. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about more fresh topics. Back in 5 minutes. Welcome back. You are watching the Jim Crawford Show, Special Edition, live, May 26, 2017. Earlier in the show, we talked about fashion and entertainment. Now, we're going to talk about science. If you're a science expert, unlike anyone else, you may have noticed that when you do stuff that a science expert can do, you make one heck of an effort. So show your science expert technologies to the person next to you right now. By watching this video over and over and over and over again until you get too bored of it, you're probably gonna tell yourself, man, this kid I'm watching right now, who's live, is so good at stuff I can't do. And you are probably right. If you never heard of Google Hangouts, Google Hangouts just moved to YouTube a while back. Because unfortunately, the viewers and the people who use this Google Hangout technology like I am right now, were having trouble finding it. So Google did the right thing and switched, I should say, over to YouTube. So Google Hangouts is now on YouTube because they're part of the YouTube technology. Google Hangouts just moved to YouTube last year in 2016. When they moved to YouTube, it was easy to find for live streaming events. So that right there is a different story. But we're not done yet. Excuse me. I do want to talk more about science. And this time, it's going to be a better topic. Science technology. Okay, for those of you who went to school and learned about science technology, what did your teachers tell you in the past during the past school years? From last year to this year? That's the main question. Alright? Write that down. What did your school teachers talk to you about for science technology over the past school years, ever since you went to school? That's going to be very uneasy to find. If you didn't learn about science technology at school, well, folks, you probably never took science class. So, the next time you go to a school, college, high school, junior high school, 8th grade, or whatever, tell your teachers to sign you up for science class, no matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Tell your teachers and your parents to sign you up for science class at your local school. Don't go to school and never learn about science class, people. Kids of all ages, no matter how old you are, you cannot pick a class section unless you're going to science class at your local school. That's what you're there for. Get the picture? Perfect and smart. Good for you. Yay. Have a good time. Enjoy your life while you can. Because you never know what's going to happen. One of these days, you will never know what's going to happen. And besides, you won't know what's going to happen until you find out for yourself. So let's turn things around. And get back to where we started. Let's get back where we started. Let's turn things around. Let's turn the universe around and send us back to little kids. That's what the plan is today. Today, we're sending you back to little kid age. Not that it's gonna happen. I'm just kidding. Alright? You can't reborn little kid ages. If you're past little kid ages, you're past it. It's done. You're done being a little kid. Parents, teach your kids the right age. Alright. I do want to put on a commercial break like right now, or approximately a minute and a half. I don't want to start too soon, but I think I might put us on an extended 8-minute commercial break. Okay, maybe not that long. Alright. Quick break. That's what I'm gonna do. Quick break. We're back in 3 minutes. Welcome back. Alright, in our news segment, a deadly car crash involved a SUV minivan and a Dodge Caravan earlier this afternoon at 4:40 till 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time in Miami, Florida. Officials say that the crash was minor and no names of the drivers have not been released just yet. A bank robbery took place in San Diego, California a couple of days ago, this past Wednesday. At 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, before a bank closed up for the day, of a 40-year-old man walked into the bank just before closing time and he demanded money from the bank teller. And he had a gun. He was arrested 15 minutes later on the scene of the robbery. And now he's in jail in San Diego, California. And New York high school lockdown, I should say, a New York high school in New York City, New York State, went on lockdown for approximately 15 minutes. No students were affected and no incidents happened during the lockdown. When officials searched the school, they found nothing suspicious or anything that could lead to an arrest. Switching gears now to real news. London, England is now safe again after an underground subway train broke down just before it could reach its destination at the London Grand Central Station of London, England, in downtown London. It was 15 miles away from the destination. The conductor of the train reported the breakdown because of a fuse blowout and uncontrollable brakes and a major failure of the motor of the train carrying 50 passengers on board. Okay, not 50. Wrong information. 400 passengers on board the train had to be evacuated from the train itself. The train made an emergency stop 15 miles from the Grand Central Station of London, England. There was another station nearby called North Central Station, 15 miles north from the Grand Central Station in London, England. Luckily, no one was injured and no accidents reported during the breakdown. And finally, we have lost a special friend of ours this past weekend. Now you may have known him. You may have known him from a wait. Alright, so there has been a death of a member of a cyclist, a bicycle cyclist. He used to ride his bicycle from Tennessee to Washington State. He's known as Max Johnson, who rode his bicycle from Nashville, Tennessee to Washington State. And we are sorry to hear his passing, but doctors say that he had died of a major lung failure. So his name was, his name was Max Johnson, or Max Smith, whatever. Well, I'm not gonna repeat it. His name was Max Johnson, and he had died at the hospital, and we're not sure where the hospital has been located, but Max, the cyclist guy, who used to ride his bike across the country from Nashville, Tennessee to Washington State, died of major lung failure and major heart failure. We're sad to hear his passing, and he leaves behind his unmarried wife, who he asked to marry him about a year ago, and he never got married. And so he leaves behind his unmarried wife, whoever she may be, and the daughter Rose. And that's it. So we're sorry, Max, that you had to pass away. We hope you're happy. We hope you feel safe, and we wish you the best of luck. All the work you've done on your riding your bicycle from Tennessee to Washington State. We're sorry for you had to pass away and whatnot, and you will be missed. And that's all that matters. Thank you for being part of the world, Max. Whatever your last name may be. Probably Johnson, Pearson, whatever. Yeah, Max Johnson. Yeah, I got it right. Whatever. That's it. I'm looking at the time right now. It is 6:01 p.m. Central Time. And now it's 6:02 p.m. Central Time. Alright, we are gonna take a excuse me, again. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come right back in 5 minutes. No, wait, actually, yeah, 5 minutes. We're back after this. Welcome back. Alright. Real quickly, I do have a news bulletin update. There has been another deadly vehicle car accident. This time, a Ford car and a blue suburban sedan truck collided with each other on State Highway 1 in Pennsylvania. There was minor damage to the vehicles, and the drivers are both injured and they've been hospitalized for the next 6 to 7 days. Pennsylvania police say that the crash happened accidentally. There were no wrong drivers for wrong-way driving. The vehicles were going about the same distance until they collided with each other. And that's all we know so far. So that is that. If you want to learn more about the story, you can catch it on your local news tonight, on your local TV stations, and they will tell you the rest of the story from there. I do not have all the information because it has not been authorized for my account to tell you the detailing. Real quickly, I do want to mention that this is an unauthorized story. I am not allowed to tell you the whole story because it is a personal authorization to the Pennsylvania Police Department. So they have the rights to give out the information, and I don't. So sorry for that. This will be our one more quick break. We're going to come right back in 3 minutes. Stay tuned. We're back after this. Welcome back. Alright. Before we go and end our broadcast for today, let me remind you that I do have another episode coming up, but it's gonna be the same as this one. So the next Jim Crawford Show Special Edition live series will come back and that is gonna start next month in June, on June 2nd. So once in a while between Friday and Monday, we'll do another special edition of The Jim Crawford Show. Same title, same special edition, different stories. Unless we have breaking news and whatnot. Another thing I wanted to mention about is that it's been a good hour with you guys. And if we do go a minute over time, don't be surprised. That can sometimes happen. Yeah. That is that. It has been a fun ride with you all. I am excited that we had a good time on the show. I'm the owner of this program, no copyright and fragment required. This is not a copyright show, and if it is, so what? And I do want to put us on one more commercial break for a very quick moment. Before we do, I don't think I have all the commercials on here, but I am going to work on uploading a commercial if we have time, which by the way, I don't think we do. And it looks like we're not going to have time for any more commercials. So, yeah, that is that. And I have been on here long enough. It's getting close to 6:20 Central Time here in Wisconsin. I may just end the show right away. Yeah. That is that. Alright, that's gonna do it for now. I'm Jim Crawford. Thank you for watching. And I will see you all another time. Have a good weekend.